BMW 3 Series has always been the best driver's car in its segment. And BMW have now updated this car with an all-new exterior, an improved engine and a whole lot more. So has the driver-focused 3 Series got what it takes to beat the luxurious as well as stylish Mercedes C-Class? Well, we'll find out on the show today. Well, if you like the exterior design of this car, then you will simply love this cabin. It really is one of the best design cars in this class. In fact, I would stretch out my neck and say that this car is the best in terms of interior styling in this segment. And not only is it a very well designed cabin, everything is very good to hold and touch as well, and everything has an air of quality about it, and Mercedes have really put in the best materials inside this cabin. Well, key styling elements of course include these 3 AC vents in the center. Now of course they get these brushed aluminium surrounds, and all the chrome and aluminium inside the cabin really does have a very nice and plush feel about it. Well, the Mercedes command center can be accessed through this circular button over here, and it really is very easy to operate, and over the years Mercedes have really made it easier and more intuitive to operate. The only slight issue is that this little touch pad over here, where of course you can type things from your finger, can get in the way of this little circular button, and that is something that Mercedes should look at. Well, you realize that the 3 Series is a keen driver's car as soon as you enter the cabin, and that's largely because all the controls are slightly tilted towards the driver, and the quality is absolutely phenomenal and first rate. Well, compared to the C-Class, there's very little to choose between the 3 Series and the C-Class as far as seat comfort is concerned. And the good part about the BMW seats is of course the fact that they get excellent side bolstering, which means if you are pushing it into a corner, these seats will really hold you well. In terms of overall cabin ambience, this one feels a lot more sporty and youthful compared to the Mercedes cabin. But that said, it's not as opulent or as luxurious as the cabin on the C-Class is. So in that sense, it is more or less give and take. Well, so here I am now in the second row of the C-Class seats, and first things first, I have adjusted the front seat for my driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10", and even then I've got loads of knee room and good amounts of place to stretch my feet at. The only slight issue is that headroom can be an issue for taller passengers. I'm 5'10", as I just mentioned, and well, I've just got about 2 fingers of space over there, so whoever is 6 feet and above could struggle for headroom at the back. But that said, it's an excellent place to be in. Well, just like the Mercedes C-Class, even the seats on the BMW 3 Series are excellent for support as well as cushioning, and the backrest angle is also very good. And just like the Mercedes C-Class, there's a huge hump here in the floor panel, which means that whoever's sitting here will have to stretch his feet in both the cars and have to fight with both the occupants in both this one and the Mercedes C-Class. So for space and comfort, both these cars are very closely matched, and there's hardly anything to choose between them. The only advantage that the C-Class has is that the C-Class's cabin feels a lot more luxurious, and the dashboard especially feels very upmarket compared to the sporty dashboard of the 3 Series over here. And in that sense, the Mercedes definitely has a wow factor to it. Well, of course you can change the driving characteristic of the C-Class by this toggle switch over here, which changes the settings for the suspension. Well, at the moment we've set the settings in comfort mode. The car feels very stable on the highway, but there's a little bit of stiffness around the suspension, but it's not too much. It doesn't feel uncomfortably stiff, and that means that Mercedes have found a good blend between ride comfort as well as agility. This motor is really supreme on refinement, and it's also a very punchy motor. All you need to do is just smash the accelerator pedal slightly, and this car really does take off. The 7-speed automatic from Mercedes is probably one of the best in the business at the moment, and the gear shifts are really very quick, and there's very minimal time lag between changing gears. Well, the C-Class's motor is very punchy and powerful, but it's also a very quiet motor. It's inherently a very silent motor, and that makes the cabin a very relaxing place to be in. The steering wheel is a pretty easy and light unit to operate around the city, but that said, it's pretty agile when you are on the move, even though it's not in the same league as the BMW 3 Series' steering wheel. Well, as soon as you step inside this car, you will realize that it is in a completely different league. The Mercedes C-Class is much behind this car in terms of overall driver dynamics. The 3 Series really does feel like a proper driver's luxury sedan. It offers you a tremendous steering wheel which offers you loads of communication. There's minimal body roll, the gearbox is really crisp, and the engine, even in its diesel version, is absolutely phenomenal. But the best part about the 3 Series, of course, over the C-Class is the fact that it really does change directions as quick as a housefly, unlike the C-Class, which really prefers to be driven in a very gentlemanly manner. This one does not mind changing lanes quickly, and it really does remain very well planted and offers you very neutral handling, unlike the C-Class, which has a lot of body roll. So for keener drivers, the 3 Series is still the car to go for. Well, where the 3 Series also has the advantage over the C-Class is in its engine refinement now, and this engine feels a lot more refined, especially when you rev it hard over the C-Class. Well, the 3 Series also comes with different driving modes to choose from. Well, even if you are driving this car in comfort mode, the steering is pretty light in the city, but when you take it out on the highway and as speeds increase, there's a lot more weight into the steering wheel, so it does not feel nervous on the highway. So if you are a keen driver, then there's only one place to look, and there's only one car to have, and that is the BMW 3 Series. Well, even though the Mercedes C-Class impresses with its very stylish and luxurious cabin, its pliant and comfortable ride, and its solid build quality, it is the BMW 3 Series which has the edge over it in this battle. The BMW offers a more engaging drive, it has a more refined engine, and also is cheaper to buy than the Mercedes C-Class. And all that, along with that comfortable cabin, makes this car the undisputed king of its segment.